Welcome to episode 11 of my 15-minute crochet series. If you haven't seen the other episodes, I'll link them down in the description below. Today's 15-minute project is this Lilypad coaster. So for supplies, we will need some size 4 yarn. This is in the color Sage, and then this one is in pink. And then you'll need a 4.5mm hook, a darning needle, and some scissors. We're going to be starting with a magic circle using our green yarn. So hold your yarn like so. I put it on the table first so that you know how it should look like. My left hand grabs it, and then my right 2 fingers are on the loop. My left hand twists. My right 2 fingers grab this yarn and go all the way until you have 2 holes, like so. Your left hand will hold it securely while you insert your hook onto the top hole. And then you're going to make a chain 1. So you just yarn over and pull through that loop. And then I turn my work horizontally like this, and that is how you make your magic circle. So now we're going to be placing 8 single crochets inside this magic circle. So you insert your hook through the hole, yarn over, pull it back out, and then yarn over, pull through these 2 loops. That's 1 single crochet. And then again, you insert it through the hole, yarn over, pull it back out, and then yarn over, pull through these 2. So you just keep going until you make 8 single crochets total. Once you're done, you take your tail, then you pull all the way until you close the hole completely. And then you're going to look for the first single crochet that you made, which is right here, this V right here. You make a slip stitch onto that stitch. So you insert your hook like so. It's going to be a little bit tight, but insert your hook, then you yarn over, pull through that stitch, and then the loop on your hook. That's a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 1 to start row number 2. So for row number 2, we're going to increase on every single stitch that we made. An increase means 2 single crochets inside 1 stitch. So as you can see, I'm making my first single crochet, and then again I'm going to make another one on the exact same stitch, like so. And then I move on to the next stitch, and then I put 2 single crochets there as well. 1, and then another one. So you're going to continue all the way around until you have 16 stitches overall. And then we're going to move on to row number 3. So this is the end of that row. I take my first single crochet here and make a slip stitch like we did last time. This closes the row, and then I chain 1, and now we're on to row number 3. For this one, we're going to start with a single crochet on the first stitch. So just make a single crochet here. And then on the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So 2 single crochets inside this stitch. Again, for the next stitch, single crochet. And on the next stitch, an increase. So just repeat this pattern of single crochet and then increase until you get to the end of the row. This is now what it should look like, and you should have 24 stitches total. And then I just do my slip stitch to close the row, and then a chain 1. Now for the next row, we're going to make 3 single crochets and then an increase. So this is 1, next is 2, next stitch is 3, and on the next stitch, put an increase. Okay, repeat the pattern, 3 single crochets and then an increase. So keep repeating this, and by the end of this row, you should have 30 stitches overall. So I already did my slip stitch and chain 1, and now we're moving on to the next row. So for this one, we're first going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. And then we're going to make 4 single crochets. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. Okay. After that, we're going to do 4 single crochets and then an increase again. And then we're going to repeat 4 single crochets and increase all the way until you get to this part. Right here, you now have 2 stitches left. After you've done that, I have 34 stitches right now. So you just need to do 2 more single crochets to make it 36 stitches overall. Now, we're not actually going to do the slip stitch and chain 1 like we normally do. We're just going to chain 1, and then we're going to flip this work horizontally like this. And now we're going to work in this direction. So now we're going to do 5 single crochets, and it's going to start on this stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then we're going to do an increase. So just repeat this 5 single crochets and then an increase until you get to the end of this row, and you should have 42 stitches overall. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the row. I'm just doing my last increase right here, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to cut the yarn, leave a long tail so that you can weave in your ends. This is basically the end of the Lilypad portion, which is the biggest portion of this coaster. Okay, so just weave in both of these ends securely, and then we'll move on to the flower. So we're going to take our pink yarn, and then we're going to do a magic circle again. Okay, so then you take your crochet hook. Once again, you put it onto the top, and then make a chain 1, and then turn your work horizontally. So we're going to be working into this magic ring. First, we're going to make a half double crochet. How you do that is you yarn over, insert your hook inside the ring, yarn over again, pull it back out. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a half double crochet. And then you chain 1, and then you make a slip stitch into the ring. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through the loop on your hook. And then you chain 1 again, and then make a half double crochet again. So this is your half double crochet, and then chain 1, and then you slip stitch back into the magic circle. So as you can tell, we've already made 2 petals of the flower. You basically just repeat the chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, and then slip stitch back into the ring until you've made as many petals as you want, I guess, but I made 5 petals for this specific flower. Okay, so once your 5 petals are done, you just make one last chain 1, and then you take your tail and then you pull all the way until the hole is closed. So just make sure all your petals are flipped the right way, like so. Keep pulling until it's tight, and then I just take my scissors and cut this yarn. And then my hook should stay on the flower actually. And then I just pull up to make a knot. And now we're going to attach this to the Lilypad. So first we're going to take our darning needle, and I'm going to take this, so not this one, not the tail that closes it, but the tail that we just used. I put it into the darning needle, and then I'm going to poke it to the other side of the flower. You'll see where I'm going to poke it. So it's going to be on this area right here. You poke all the way through, but we're going to poke it through the Lilypad as well. So I'm going to pick this spot right here. I poke it all the way. As you can see, hold your flower securely so that it doesn't move too much. And then I'm going to take this other tail, the one that we didn't just use, and then put it into the needle, and then put it about 2 stitches apart. It's going to be around this area. So you insert it, make sure your flower is above all these tails so it doesn't get caught in it. And then I flip the Lilypad and then make a double knot to make sure the flower is secure. And then all you have to do is weave in your ends and then hide it inside the Lilypad so the pink doesn't show too much. And that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. And I'll see you all in the next episode next Wednesday.